today's exercise is we're going to look at the Yamaha 350D water pump. Just inspect it, just to make sure that it's everything is where it should be. Okay, so first off, dismantle and inspect all the parts. This particular one has got a crash guard on it, which is probably a godsend. If you ever fall off, it protects the water pump which is sat on the end of the crankshaft. It's simply a piece of aluminium angle which is bolted onto one side of the pump, held together nicely with capped Allen screws, which are coming off quite nicely. Good thing, when this goes back together, all the threads will be cleaned and everything will go together nicely without any effort whatsoever. Proving difficult to hold at times. Now I'm using a tray so that we catch some of the water that may be residual in the pump. Also, it gives me somewhere nice and clean to keep all the parts. Yep. Okay, that's all the screws out. Tools can be laid away. Right, now as this has been together for some little time, I would imagine that all the joints are stuck. Yes, they are. Now the one thing we don't want to do is put a screwdriver in there and try and drag it apart. So what I will do is I will collect a rubber hammer and just tap around the edges. Now, with a bit of luck, that may have come loose. I should be so lucky. Don't start singing, Dave.
No.
It's not having it, boys. Might have to revert to a bit of leverage in there. There we go. It was held on the dowels. Okay. As you can see, the inside of this water pump is quite grimy. It will need cleaning out completely. And you can see some residue of corrosion in there. But once we've cleaned it out, everything should be fine. Yeah, ow. Always remember, keep your thumb out of the way. It's proving slightly troublesome, this bit. There we go, that's loosened it. May have to just persuade it slightly. There we go. That's the bearing end of the input shaft, and it as you can see, it's been lubricated quite well from the engine, from the gearbox and the primary drive side. But we will test the bearing and we will look at it in greater detail. Okay. We'll just tap that and see if it will move. I may just have to look at the parts book to see how it is put together and dismantle it a little further. But what I don't want to do is damage any of the components inside there. Okay, so I'll stop now while I investigate a little further on how it comes to pieces a bit more. Having tapped that, it's now loosened, and the two cotters that hold the whole thing together have come off. Okay, so now I should be able to just pull out the impeller and the drive gear coming from that side. Now we're able to inspect the seals, the bearings and the housing and look for faults, cracks or any damage whatsoever. So what we have now is a completely dismantled water pump. Right, the next step is to clean all the parts up before we carry out a full inspection. Dave has just gone to set up the compressor so that we can blow things down, and also we will use the parts washer and the grit blaster to clean everything up so that we can see absolutely everything. Whilst Dave's doing those sorts of bits, I will attempt to get the bearings out. That one could prove problematic, but my intention is to fill the area behind the bearing with grease and find something that fits nicely in there and try and hydraulic lift it out. But if that doesn't work, I have another cunning plan up my sleeve. This one is probably not so bad in as much as I can get to both sides of it once the seal has been removed. Okay, we've dismantled it. Dave's just done a bit of sandblasting so that we can see inside what the state of play is with the impeller and its corresponding component. All looks to be fine. The shaft on the impeller looks fine, even to where the seal sits. It looks in reasonable condition. So what I will do now is get on the blower and order a water pump repair kit, which should include the seal, the gasket and the O-ring. The bearings themselves are in fine fettle, although I may choose to replace them once we've cleaned them out properly.